Hey, it's Sigboy from the Gaming Anti Collective, and welcome to the Anarchic Eye for the 12th of February 2013. Right, Aliens Colonial Marines has come out, and dear Christ has it been crucified by the media. Holy shit, I have not seen a shitstorm like this for reviews, for terrible, ball-achingly bad reviews. I haven't seen a review this bad, actually, since Gearbox released their last port of a well-loved IP. It's an interesting point, that. Yeah, so, Gearbox did a fantastic job with Borderlands. Truly, great games. Ones for the ages. Borderlands 1 and 2, fantastic games. What is it about you guys taking on much-loved IPs and creating something that some people have loved it? I have spoken to people who have enjoyed this game. But for the most part, my God, the press are going out on this game, the likes of which generally have not seen since possibly Resident Evil 6, but I'd say for a really true crucifixion like this, Duke Nukem Forever. It's being absolutely slated. By all accounts, the graphics, it's a six-year-old game. It's made terrible use, apparently, of the Unreal 3 engine. If you compare it to Bioshock Infinite, which actually is the same engine, the two things just look so drab. I know they're using the alien colour palette, but it does look fairly grim. And apparently the AI is terrible, and the co-op just makes these little alleyways just seem so massively crowded. That seems to be the main consensus, that it's just lackluster. And although it seems that they truly love the series, it seems to be getting absolutely nailed. That's a shame, really, because I very nearly pre-ordered that. That was a game that I really wanted to see how well it did, and I'm glad I didn't pre-order it, because I did make the mistake of pre-ordering Duke Nukem Forever. Although it was fun, it was nowhere near as good as I hoped it was going to be. And although I think the crucifixion was probably unfair by the press, it wasn't a very good game. Okay, with regards to sales as well, Dead Space 3 has now been out for just over a week. And remember, I mentioned in my previous video, if you watched it, that EA stated they want 5 million sales to make Dead Space 3 worthwhile. 5 million sales, okay. Dead Space 1 sold about 1 million copies in its lifetime. Dead Space 2 about 2 million copies. So I can see where they're going there. They're just multiplying up. So they figured, well, let's add 3 million there. That's 5 million is going to be a good return on the investment. So how have they done? Well, they have topped the UK sales charts. So congratulations to EA and Visceral. You have topped the sales charts. Ni no Kuni, incidentally, did drop down to 6th, although I do suspect that is down to supply problems because it's sold out everywhere. The prices are being ramped up left, right and centre. I'm afraid, Namco Bandai, you really screwed up with your orders for this. You really didn't appreciate the demand, and you've left a lot of people sitting out in the rain wanting your game, and they can't get it. You fucked up there. So, it is the #1 selling game in the UK of the last week. It is at the top of the charts. It is the fastest selling game in its first week all year. Bear in mind, it is only mid-February. However, the sales for Dead Space 3 are 26% down on Dead Space 2. In the UK. Now, that may well be an anomaly, but I doubt it. I sincerely doubt that the UK is the only one. I reckon that's going to be pretty much across the board, and my prediction of it barely making 2 and 2.5 million, it's not going to make 2 million, because enough people who love Dead Space 1 and who love Dead Space 2 have walked away from Dead Space 3. Some people have played it, and people who've played it have enjoyed it. But for those of you who the microtransactions and their general grubbiness sticks in your throat, that's why, EA. That's why you're not seeing the sales that you want. Incidentally, EA also reported that glitch was apparently intentional. The infinite spawning glitch for resources. Apparently that was intentional. Now, I don't believe it's intentional. What I think, that the way they've worded that, people have intimated that they put it in as like a gift to gamers. I think it's a problem with the engine. Dead Space 2 had an infinite respawning glitch for resources. It's an exploit within the game code. They didn't spot it, and they didn't fix it. They did intend people to go get that. They didn't intend people to have to do microtransactions. That's why I find their phrase so shady. They didn't say at any point, you have to do microtransactions. They said, yeah, you can find stuff. They didn't go, well, actually, at this one point, or actually it turns out there's 2 points from what I hear, where you can just keep doing it and just farm the information, which again is boring as fuck to farm that. I don't believe for 1 second they put it in out of some form of niceness to gamers. Bullshit. EA don't work that way. EA are looking at how bad their publicity is. They're realising just how fucked off people are with them. And when they get pointed out and people start going, ha 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 ha, there's an exploit in your game, they went, oh, of course, but we want you to explore it and we would like you to do that. You know, please, we won't patch that out. Please, enjoy it. No, they can't, because it's integral into the code of the game, because it's carried over from Dead Space 2. It's just not your while to patch it, because any decent hardcore gamer is going to know about that exploit, and they're not going to use your microtransaction system. But you're still hoping on enough people who don't know anything about it to fork out money for their bloody weapon parts, which is still an absolute fucking disgrace as far as I'm concerned. But there we go. Okay. Our dipshit for the day is going to have to be Michael Pachter. Michael Pachter, if you don't know, is a financial analyst who apparently specialises in the game industry and pretends that he really knows absolutely everything about the video game industry and how trends work, and that he is an absolute genius. Now, what has this genius said? You may be wondering. What pearl of wisdom has this absolutely mystical man come up with? Well, I'll tell you. He has said that the UK game retail market is a joke, and the people who work in it are all idiots because they're selling the goods too cheaply to compete with customers, and they can't make them profitable. That is certainly true. Retail companies in the UK are suffering, like for like in sales. A lot of the big games, like Call of Duty, are picked up more often in supermarkets than in game shops. Because supermarkets sell them, and it's much easier for a parent to just pop in and grab a Christmas present while they're doing their shopping. Now, the reason you're an absolute fucking moron, Pachter, is this. You're clearly not appreciating that in comparison to cost of goods, US sale games, $60 new on the shelf. In the UK, right now, the retail price is nearly £60. $54.99. Previously, it's ramped up over £10 somewhere over the last few months. God knows where that's come in. But retail shops have to sell it at a fairly competitive price. So they try and drop it as much as they can because they cannot sell it for the asking price, dipshit. If they sold it at the asking price, they would sell nothing. Do you know why? Because websites, well-run websites, my personal favourite is shop2.net if you're in the UK, by the way. They sell games. I haven't paid more than £40 for any game, other than the Call of Duty. The last Call of Duty I bought myself was Modern Warfare 3. And there must be some kind of deal on that because the price is somewhat locked. Whereas all other games I get for about £38. Brand new. Now that's a reasonable price. I'm willing to pay £38 for a brand new game. I'm not willing to pay nearly fucking 60, and nobody is. So if you, Michael Pachter, seem to think that they're morons for dropping the price. Well, you're a fucking imbecile for not understanding the business. Not understanding that essentially these prices are dollar for pound exactly, and they're not one-to-one exchange rates, you fucking ingrate. You stupid fucking twat. At what point do you become a financial analyst and not realise that currencies are a fucking exchange rate? You fucking imbecile. That is why companies, stores, shops in the UK struggle. Because they have to pay, the RRP they have for that product that the distributors give them is way fucking higher. Their margins are too slim because of that. They can't just ramp the price up because no one will shop there. That is why they rely on second-hand games. That is why they say, any of these games released over the last couple of months, trade them in and we'll sell you the game for about half price. Because they're desperate for some business. They're that fucking... And you think that they're a joke because they're struggling for business. What economic school did you go to? Did you say that about all banks when they crashed? All banks are a fucking joke. What kind of financial analyst says that? I would say, don't fucking invest in game. Don't invest in a UK video game store. Don't invest in any video game store because they're dying out because the model is changing. It's not because one particular retail model in one country is a joke, you fucking moron. Jesus Christ, where did you get your degree from? In a packet of fucking Cheerios? Fuck me. Where did you come up with this theory? You half-baked fucking moron. Jesus Christ. How did you tout this as this fucking celebrity analyst? Yeah, he's a fucking moron. Absolute fucking moron. And this isn't out of some stung national pride. This is just because he's a fucking moron. I don't like UK retail high street stores. I buy mine off the internet. Almost always I buy my games off the internet. The best thing they try and sell, they try and get store-specific DLC deals with the distributors, and that's about the only way they can try and ensure a sale, but they're not from me, because I don't like that kind of shit. You're a fucking moron. You're a fucking moron. Absolute twat. Right. Another interesting bit of news. The Kinect has now sold as many units as the Xbox and more than the Nintendo Gamecube. For those of you who aren't such an old man as me, the Nintendo Gamecube came out in 2002, and it was Nintendo's first digital optical disc system. Previously, they resorted to they had cartridges for the N64 when everyone else went to CDs, and then they went to these small optical discs. It was a brilliant machine, actually, brilliant machine, and it was a lovely little cube thing with a handle on the back of it. Had some fantastic games, genuinely some of the best games there has ever been, but I'll get to that in a second. Kinect. Now, Kinect adds some good points to some games. Do you know, I don't know if you know, what the best Kinect-only games are? Because I didn't. I looked into it. Let me just get this up here. These are, by aggregate review score, the best Kinect-only games on the Xbox 360. Puss in Boots. That's actually the highest rated. Dance Central. That makes sense. Sesame Street, Once Upon a Monster, and The Gunstringer. Everything else, and those are all like aggregate ratings of about the 70s. That is piss poor. Not to mention the fucking awful Star Wars Kinect, Steel Battalion, Dragon Ball. Gee, everything they whack Kinect in has been a fucking ridiculously terrible game. Kinectimals was quite fun, but let's see who really takes that much seriousness of Kinectimals. I mean, that was a what the fuck? The Kinect party thing, I can't remember what it's called. That was again pretty fun, but again it was novelty. So that sold more than the Gamecube. So I just thought I'd grab some games from the Gamecube just to put it into perspective. Okay, if this subsystem, because it is essentially a subsystem, it's a massive peripheral that allows you to play up certain games. But anyway, so this and it's an expensive bloody thing. For less money than a Kinect, you could buy a Gamecube and the remake of Resident Evil, which is genuinely one of the best games I've ever played. Took the original Resident Evil, took out all the crappy voice acting, took out a lot of the tedium, expanded the game massively, and it's absolutely terrific. That's worth buying a Gamecube for right there. As is Resident Evil 0. Now, I've mentioned before, people maybe misunderstood my point. I said co-op horror doesn't work. That mattered to me. This is co-op horror in the way it's one player, but you have two players going on at the same time. You have Rebecca Chambers from the first game, and Billy Cohen, who's only from this, and he's badass. And this is brilliant. You switch between the two players, and it's the last of the proper Resident Evil games. Terrific game. Absolutely terrific. The remake of Metal Gear Solid, with this has additional cutscenes and bits and pieces. Well, actually, let's just see what they add. Yeah, they add new gameplay. They add a lot of the stuff from Metal Gear Solid 2, and they do add more cutscenes and things. Terrific game. Last but certainly not least, Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker. Now, this is coming out again on the Wii U. Incidentally, I mentioned before about the disc. If you haven't seen them before, look how dinky they are. Look how dinky they are. Not only that, this was a limited edition that came out with Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask with the game. Now that is a terrific deal. That, in itself, Ocarina Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker on one game is better than anything on the Kinect. Mario fucking Toadstool Golf is better than anything on the Kinect. Baffles me. The Kinect is in one. They have sold one Kinect for every 3 Xboxes sold. I don't think that means that 1 in 3 Xbox users have a Kinect, because let's face it, most Kinect users have had their Xbox blow on them. So I'd actually say it's more than 1 in 3. I think that's ridiculous. It's successful for the Kinect, but for what you get out of it, you really want Dance Central that badly? Really? Is it worth it? Personally, I don't think so. Right. Back on Ubisoft's case today. Oh, Ubisoft. But not just Ubisoft, actually. I want to mention something. I want to mention particularly the game journalist again, but also Adam Sessler again. I respect your views generally on what you think about the quality of certain games. I do. However, your naivety about the industry is absolutely fucking staggering. Now, he did a video today, if you haven't seen it, with regards to ethics in the gaming industry. And he did mention that basically people have got this weird view and that the internet are all full of paranoids and think that the game industry is corrupt and that journalists are corrupt. Now, the reason that we know that's true, Adam, is because it is true. It is an actual fact. We've seen people fired from IGN for giving reviews that went up against the advertisers. So don't fucking pretend there's no corruption in the game genre. You may not be corrupt. I don't believe this whole thing about his Slim Jim's advertising, including EA, has anything to do with how Dead Space 3 was rated by his website. Don't believe that for a second. However, you're absolutely naive to think that there is no sycophancy and corruption in your industry. That is absolute bullshit. Secondly, keep supporting this. Ubisoft, the reason he supported Ubisoft on pushing back Rayman Legends, and the reason he said is basically, again, well, Ubisoft aren't going to make enough money. Fuck them! They made a deal. They gambled their fucking money. They don't need a fucking... This is essentially the gaming equivalent of a fucking bailout. What happened is, Ubisoft looked at the amount of Wii sales and they went, right, okay, 4 million units sold for the Wii U. We really want to sell 5 million units here. Right, so what we should do? What should we do? Should we release it on the Wii U and then release it on the other? No, so let's break the exclusivity deal we have with Nintendo. Let's then approach Sony and Microsoft. Let's then develop games for their systems as well. We'll delay the Wii U version, and then we might make up to 5 million on a multi-plat, because they thought they were going to make 5 million on a Wii U exclusive. Which means, one, their fucking marketing department don't know anything, because they do realise that if a new console generation comes out in the latter half of a year, you cannot rely on the Christmas market selling that many consoles. Next Christmas, the Wii U is going to go through the roof. Guarantee it. The Xbox 720 and the PS4 may be launched by then, and I'm going to predict that the Wii U will outsell both of them combined. That's just the way it is. That's the way the industry works. Because the Wii U will have been out for over a year, and we'll have a bloody catalogue with the remake of the Wind Waker, shitloads of RPGs, a new Mario game, a new proper 3D Mario game. They're going to dominate next Christmas. They are. So they gambled, stupidly, and they realised they're not going to make the sale, so they decide to screw over Nintendo, screw over the developers, and screw over the people who bought a Wii U. Some people bought the Wii U just for Rayman Legends, okay? No one bought it for Zombie U. If you did, you have my sympathies. Another Ubisoft fucking turkey, I might mention. But... so you're defending them on that. You're defending them on the fact they made a poor financial decision, and so they shaft developers and shaft gamers. And you're going, yeah, well, they do need to make money. They need to sell 5 million. They don't need to, fuckface. They want to. They want to make 5 million sales. Of course they do. Do you know why? Because $300 million revenue sounds fucking brilliant, doesn't it? $300 million for Rayman Legends revenue. That's pretty good. That's not their profit, mind you, but that's what they'd make. That's what you'd see, the market revenue from that game making 5 million sales. dopey twat. Unfucking-leavable. Are you so blind? You're so fucking blinded. Anyway, Ubisoft. So they've defended it based on that, and some journalists have said, yeah, fair point, they do need to make money. No, fuck them. If they made a poor call and they released the game at the wrong time, so be it. Ride the wave. Release it for the Wii U. Don't hold fucking people to ransom, because people on the Wii U aren't going to buy this game when it comes out, and people aren't going to buy it on the Xbox or PlayStation, because guess what? All the EA Sports games are going to be out, and GTA 5. So buy Ubisoft. You can wave that 5 million goodbye. Those 5 million, because you're not going to fucking sell them, okay? You are not going to sell 5 million units for Rayman Legends. Not in a month of Sundays. All you've done is alienate the people who are really excited to play the game. If I had a Wii U, I'd have been excited about Rayman Legends. Looks great. It's done. It's in a fucking warehouse, and you've locked it up. And incidentally, good on the developers. I mentioned before that one of the developers anonymously went on our website and complained about it in Spanish and said that it was bullshit. Now, the creator of Rayman and the development team have all gone out and they've protested. I'll put all the links to the information given here in the description field. They've protested it saying, release Rayman. And good on you guys to stand up to those fuckers. Because it's totally unreasonable the way they're acting. It's stupid. It's self-destructive and fucking stupid. You are not going to make 5 million sales. Guarantee you that. Right. Bit of sad news for the bronies out there. Fighting is Magic has been served with a cease and desist order from Hasbro. Apparently, I don't know, maybe they wanted their own pony fighting game out on the market and they thought this was unfair competition. I understand from the perspective that Hasbro need to protect their IP from unfair usage. But for what is essentially a fun game being played by grown men who enjoy My Little Pony, what the fuck are you bashing them for? People bash bronies enough. That game is about the best thing in the world if you're a brony, I can imagine. What have you taken that away from them? What purpose does that serve, other than create ill will in the marketplace? It's not like they'd released a copycat of a game you were going to release on the market. Were you going to release a My Little Pony fighting game? I fucking doubt it. That's mean-spirited bullshit. Right. Bit of fantastic news with a potentially bitter pill on the way. Warner Brothers financials have announced there will be a new Batman Arkham game this year, and I am fucking excited about that. I loved Arkham Asylum. I loved Arkham City. Bit fucked off with the way they deal with DLC, particularly the bloody offline game pass, essentially, by adding the Catwoman stuff by DLC. That was bullshit, Warner Brothers. Knock that on the fucking head. But other than that, really excited about this. Downside is, it appears that Rocksteady aren't going to be making it. There is a rumour that they're making a Silver Age Batman story, a proper blue cape and cowl and, lots of thwacks and that kind of very cheesy 70s style Batman game. Which, again, may be terrific. That's all rumoured, though. There's not really any substantiated proof about that as far as I'm aware. If there is, let me know, because I'd love to see it. But, so it may not actually be Rocksteady doing it. Which is a real shame. But, good news, it may well be a real sleeper hit this year. Because let's face it, Arkham Asylum and Arkham City were terrific. If whoever works on it does a good enough job, expands on the established universe, and makes a bigger and better experience than Arkham City, then it's going to be a massive seller. So, hopefully that will work out. Okay, last but not least, a survey in the UK here has found, where they asked people, what would they want out of a PlayStation 4? What your priorities? 71% put their top priority backwards compatibility. Now, I am really not happy with the whole removing of backwards compatibility from the PlayStation 3. I understand why they did it, and it's a bullshit move. Because why they did what they did, is they wanted to release PS1 and PS2 games on the PSN store, and charge for them, of course. Which is a bargain. If you don't have Final Fantasy VII, you want to play Final Fantasy VII, you try and buy the original discs on the PlayStation 1. They cost a fortune. You can buy it on the PSN for £7.99. Not a bad price. But if you already have the game and they bar you from playing it on the machine, that's shit. What they want to do is they want to force... They're doing that purely to force people who already have the games to buy them digitally. Because if you didn't have the game, why would you go out and search? Well, most people wouldn't choose to search out and buy the disc if they could buy the digital copy for next to nothing and it only takes up a few hundred megabytes on their hard drive. You're doing that purely to rinse more revenue. And also for the HD collection market. That is an unreasonable, bullshitty practice there, Sony. And that's just another little point of view price gouging. You're absolute greedy fuckers, basically. But bear in mind, 71% put their number one priority backwards compatibility. So you might want to consider what's more important. More sales or greater profits per unit sold. You might want to consider that. Right, incidentally, just wanted to announce some people were enjoying the pickups I did in the last Anarchic video. So I just want to show you, one thing that I mentioned that I was on the way for is my other Shin Megami Tensei game that I had on order, Lucifer's Call, which, if you didn't know, includes Dante, which is nice. Which now, it means I officially have all the games with proper Dante in. Don't have the new one. But I now have officially all the games that include Dante. Finished off by having the demo disc in that Code Veronica that I showed last time. So that's made me a happy bunny. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. You've been looking through the 2020 vision of the Anarchic Eye. Catch you later.